Hey folks, Sean here, and in this episode what I want to talk to you about is why you shouldn't be afraid to work on multiple B2B SaaS projects at the same time. Now, first, let me qualify what I mean by at the same time. I don't mean literally, like the exact same moment you should be constantly working on two things at once, because that's technically not possible. What I mean is that it's totally okay, and you shouldn't be afraid of considering pursuing two B2B SaaS applications or builds or whatever that you're technically splitting time on. As in, one day or 1 week you may work on one project, and another day or week you may work on another. Now, lots of people love to tell me when they find out that that's what I'm doing about how that's not possible. And I can't help but laugh. And look, I get it. Everyone's got an opinion on this matter. And to a certain extent, I also feel that their advice and feedback has merit. And I'll explain what I mean by that. But what I want to share with you first is that I've been doing this for years and nothing horrible has happened yet. So if I can do it, trust me, you can do it too. So what I'm getting at here is you shouldn't feel bad or guilty or that you need to not pursue something that you think might be an opportunity just because you're working on something already. It's totally okay to shift gears or pivot temporarily, permanently, or to run both technically simultaneously, but obviously not at the exact same moment. Splitting time is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I look at it, my perspective on the matter is it's diversification. As in, one of my products, something might change. Timing, industry, maybe the market wasn't as large as I thought it was, whatever. And at the same time, I want to be free to pursue what I want to pursue when I want to pursue it. This is another reason why I'm a huge fan of the bootstrapped approach as opposed to raising capital. Because you raise capital, now you are locked in and committed, and you owe those investors back, in an ideal world, a return. At least that's what they're looking for. That's why they made that investment. That comes with a certain amount of obligations and pressure, and it also locks you out of or limits you in terms of what else it is you may want to do. So I strongly prefer the freedom and flexibility that the bootstrapped approach provides you, if it's something that makes sense for you. I would rather see you continue to work your 9 to 5 or do contracting work or consulting on the side or whatever. Like, make sure you have your own cash flow coming in, which takes care of the day-to-day for you. And then with a percentage of that, put that towards whatever projects you want to pursue. And if that just so happens to be experimenting with a few until you figure out which one's ultimately going to gain the traction or that you'll be most passionate about or you feel has the most promise, that's okay as well. Even if those projects continue for the foreseeable future or more than one seems to have promise, which is exactly where I'm at. Now, because I'm working on multiple projects, I'm not working on each project every day. I'm picking and choosing where to spend my time. So there's a little bit more energy involved there. I need to figure out how to best make the maximum efficiency and impact with the time that I have to spend on the projects. So there's an extra step of prioritization involved. But that helps me continually refine the skill of prioritizing, essentially, and like understanding where I'm going to get the best return on investment. So I see that as continually sharpening my skills at the same time. Plus, my projects are not necessarily all in the same phase at the same time, as in I may not be building two products at the same time. I may not be forming discovery for two products at the same time. Whatever that is, I also look to potentially have kind of like an assembly line, as in I've got different products or projects at different stages in the process that are currently being quote unquote built, or something I'm performing discovery with to determine whether or not I'm going to turn it into a product. And then I establish certain milestones for those projects to have to exceed in order for them to unlock the next round of investment in terms of time or capital or whatever. And if they don't grow past that, they kind of go back to the drawing board for that step before they move forward. So I'm going to share with you more about my process, but what I want to share with you is that if anyone's giving you feedback to the extent of, you have to focus on only one thing and not more than that, I would take that with a grain of salt, because that's something that I largely have never done, yet I've continued to be pretty successful in B2B SaaS. So I just wanted to make sure that you had that piece of advice as well also.